Mary Orvis Marbury said the claret in her book is actually a combination of two flies, a light claret and a dark claret. And for some reason, they made an editorial decision that instead of tying two separate flies, they tied just one. I am tying the claret off of the illustration in the book and off of the actual fly. I'm putting it on a number 6 hook with claret thread. I'm tying in a piece of fine or extra small bicolor tinsel, tying it with the gold side towards the hook shank so that when I wrap it, it will expose the gold side. And I will be using that tinsel for both the tag and for the ribbing on the body. I don't know what Mary used for the body of her fly. I have some 300 denier red floss that I have darkened with a permanent marker to get it to be more of a claret color. I am tying the floss starting at the bend of the hook, wrapping back up the shank so that I can wrap a double thickness of the floss. It makes the tying into the floss a little more awkward because I've got this stuff hanging out in front of the eye here, up the front of the hook, which I have to work my bobbin around, but it works. So then once I've come up to the front, making sure I'm leaving plenty of room to tie in my front hackle and my wing, and I am going to just smooth those strands of floss and wrap them back towards the bend of the hook where I have the tinsel tied in. Trying to approximate the color of her fly and not really knowing what she used for body material. I'm thinking that she might have used wool. So get my body by wrapping a double thickness to approximate the thickness of the body on her fly. And then I can wrap over and under the ends of the floss and clip that out. Then I will take the tinsel, and as I flip it to wrap, it will show gold. And I will first wrap a tag. And I'm really not sure if this is the right way to do this. I might have wrapped the tag before I wrapped the tinsel so that there's a tie-in on the tag, but I think this is going to work. And then I'm actually wrapping the same direction. I'm not counter-wrapping the rib because I do want it to kind of sink in a little bit into the body floss, and try to wrap even spirals up the body and then wrap over the top of that and underneath of it to catch it in. I can clip off the extra rib. For the front hackle, I am using this black, it's actually a black feather from a bugger pack, probably rooster. So I just clip the front to get shorter barbs, Gives me a tie-in point. And then it's a long enough feather. I'm just going to wrap it. Try to keep the fibers in front of the previous ones. And 3 or 4 wraps to approximate the fullness of the fly that Mary tied. And then I'll catch that hackle feather in, bring 3 wraps over the top of it, wet my fingers so I can grab all of those fibers and pull them back, and then I will wrap up over the end to create the space for tying in the wing. And this is one of the things that I've really had to work on with these flies from Mary Orvis Marbury's book, is with this wing tied in on top to leave myself plenty of room to do that. And wrapping back over those feathers then helps them to lay backwards towards the bend of the hook. I just pull down on them a little bit to create some space in the middle up here in the top for the wing. I'm using wild turkey for the wing. I have 2 of those turkey feathers. They're opposing feathers, and I've clipped pieces out of them. Looks like one of them is a little bit wider than the other. I'll fix that. Okay, pull some of the barbs off the bottom, just measure the length, put that on each side of the eye. So I'll pinch wrap that, pinch the wing in my finger and thumb, and then take my thread up between my finger and thumb and pull down, and then wrap up over that end, give me the wing, and then I can pick up on the butt ends and wrap underneath of them. And I will cut the butt ends out, keeping that eye clean. I don't know if that, I guess that's part of the wing. And then I will take my thread and start at the eye and then wrap back up over that towards the wing to get that well tied in. Put a whip finish on it. Without catching in any of the hackle. I just push my feather against, or my scissors against the thread to cut it. I have some diluted goop. I stick a needle in my jar, pick up a drop and put that on the head. That'll cement in. I can run a feather through that eye to make sure that it's clean. And this is the Claret from Mary Orvis Marbury's book, Favorite Flies in Their Histories. It's in her trout flies on plate O.